Hi everyone, thanks for joining. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do a camo style swirl with melt and pour soap. If this is the first time you've come to my channel, I do a lot of melt and pour soap tutorials, some cold process soap, and then other handmade bath and body recipes. I'll share those on my channel, so don't forget to like and subscribe or check out some of my other videos. The first part of this tutorial is going ahead and set up the colorants that we're going to be using for the soap today. So I am cutting down approximately 4 ounces for each batch here, and I'm just measuring them out with my measuring cup and just cutting all the soap down. I'm going to be using a clear glycerin base plus a shea butter base, and they're both the Stuff It's in Melt and Pour soap base. So now I have about almost all of my soap cut down to about 4-ounce sections and divvied out into different plastic cups. I'm going to be using that pink mold you see here, and this mold, each bar holds about 4 ounces. So we're just kind of prepping and making our base colors first for the entire design of the soap. And I'm going to be fragrancing the soap with this driftwood because I feel like it's a very earthy smell and it's masculine. And then I'm just going to show you the colorants that I'm going to be using as well, in case you guys want to use any of the colors. All of these come from Nurture Soap. You can find these little 5-gram bags or little containers that they sell. If you're not going to be using these colors and you want to do something else, I would highly recommend a mica. You really only need a tiny little scoop of color to color the soap, and I would stay away from liquid colors. I've used liquid colors a few times for melt and pour soap. They're good for starting out and getting the idea of things, but I think that they tend to bleed, and for this soap tutorial or for making this type of soap, you don't really want a lot of bleeding. And I'm just kind of spraying some rubbing alcohol to easily mix in the micas, and I kind of have the soap base already melted down a little bit, and I'm just slowly stirring everything together. You don't have to do this way. You can measure out the micas individually and then spray with rubbing alcohol and mix them completely and then add it to the soap. Some people like to do it that way, but I just like to add it directly to the soap and let it melt down a little bit because I find that it's a little bit easier that way. Also, the chunks of soap that haven't completely melted down in the microwave, if you're stirring them, they'll continue to melt down, and it gives you more time to keep the soap cool and make sure that you're not like scorching your soap base in the microwave or however you're melting the soap down. Once you get all the soap bases poured into the mold, you let them sit for approximately an hour or two. I think I let mine sit just to make sure that they were solid all the way through. And I'm just showing you a close-up of the actual color palette of the soap so you can see what we're working with here. And once they're all ready to come out of the mold, you can just go ahead and pop them out of the mold. Once the final size of those 4-ounce bars of soap are ready to come out of the mold and everything is hardened up, you can go ahead and cut the soap down into thirds immediately. So I just went ahead and took the bars of soap and cut them down into thirds. And then after I did that, I kind of organized them out into groups of how I wanted to mix the colors together as we start pouring. So I took a third of one of those sections and I'm cutting that up into smaller pieces and then putting it into a container so I can add it to the microwave, and then we'll melt them down. And you want to melt both colors that you're going to be using at the same time. Here I have both colors melted down so you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. And the temperatures, they were just cool to the touch. I did use my heat gun the first layer or two that I poured and made sure the temperature was that they were close on both of those, or pretty cooled down. But once I started moving along, I felt that that really didn't matter and it wasn't going to affect the design so much. So once they cooled down quite a bit is when I started pouring. And you can see on the soap base that the soap is actually starting to get a skin. I think this soap gets skin a little bit higher than some of the other brands that I've used for melt and pour, so you're able to pour it a little bit sooner, or pour the next layer a little bit sooner when you get to that. So you just want to line the pitchers up in the corner and then kind of pour evenly and equally along the edge there, as close as you can to the edge, so that the soap doesn't mix too much while you're pouring. The next tip I have, if you're doing this type of swirl, is to make sure you're getting out as much of the soap from your containers as you can. And it's okay if the surface is not flat and smooth. Like I said, just get as much as you can and the soap in there, and then spritz each layer down with rubbing alcohol. And then you're going to want to take the next color and kind of melt the base and do a similar thing. So once all that's melted, I went ahead and made sure that the top was a little bit wavy to give it more of a camo style effect swirl. And you can score each layer too if you want. I think that would help with getting this to stick together, make sure your layers don't crack or anything like that. But once everything has been kind of made wavy, or you got all the pieces you want in there, and then the skin is forming again on the soap that you're getting ready to pour, you can go ahead and start pouring the next layer. And I went ahead each time and rotated the mold so the swirl design would be different each layer. In case anyone is wondering like how long I wait in between each layer pour of the soap, I'm not waiting any specific time. I'm basically just taking each color combination, cutting them down, melting them up, then once they're melted, showing the skin, I'm pouring. So I'm not waiting a whole lot of time in between, and this is going to help make sure that your layers stick together when you cut, because you don't want things falling apart. So if you do it all at once, it kind of helps with that. I did have one of the layers while I was doing this, I got distracted, so I had to take a break and stop and then come back to it a little while later, and that layer in particular came apart. So like I said, just keep cutting and pouring until you're done and you'll get the best results. Now to finish off the soap, I just chose whatever color I had left over at the end, and I did that all for the top. It didn't really seem to make much of a difference at the end as far as the design, but like I said, I call this the camo swirl design for melt and pour. If you guys have another name, or if you see someone else use this technique, let me know. Leave a comment below. I also think this would be great with other color combinations, so if you guys share this with people, or if you have questions, just go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know, because that helps the channel. I just want to thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I will have more melt and pour soap tutorials for you soon.